Greetings to you all, I'm back to Let's Play Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc, with me, atypical Omega. Let us finish this mystery. Hopefully. We've been in this trial a while. Not too long, actually.
That's just another lie from a bloodthirsty serial killer.
Are you sure you didn't attack her while she was sitting in the chair?
No, I'm sure she's telling the truth. Anyone who saw the murder scene should think the same way.
Well, yes, there was blood in front of the magazine rack. Wait, I mean, big puzzle. If only I could find the evidence. I got it.
Sakura was definitely attacked in front of the shelf. The blood stain by the magazines is proof of that.
Then she must have moved the body after she killed her, right?
You think Toko can move Sakura?
Or to make it look like I did it. Because when I hit her, she was sitting in the chair.
Hey, come on now, look at me. I can't carry anything heavier than my own scissors. There's no way I could move a muscle-bound heavyweight like that.
Then what's the deal?
Well, are you still convinced the case has come to an end?
Yes.
Plus, the biggest mystery of all, the locked room, still has yet to be explained.
Also, if my theory is correct, and she was killed with poison, then no one has any alibi, which means myself, Kyoko, and Hina, pushy Hina, let's vote quick Hina, suddenly enter the frame.
Until we take care of that, we can't say this case has been properly settled.
Oh, that part's easy. After she killed Sakura, Toko just hid in the locker again.
No, she didn't.
So she just hid in there till everyone showed up and opened the door? And while everything was all confused and hectic, she just snuck out of the locker into the group.
No. If you want to do that, you don't hide in the locker, which is in sight of the door. You hide, sort of, you go. Imagine going in through the door, and then depending on which way the door opens, you go either left or right, and you crouch down there. And then when the door opens and everyone runs in, then you sneak out. You don't hide on the opposite side of the room.
That's possible.
I was in the locker.
Even before we
That would be a
opened
good
the
shock
door to the
twist.
rec room, Hina and I both got a look inside. And at that point, the locker was already open.
You see, imagine Toko's down left of us at this point in time.
So obviously,
Or down right.
couldn't have been hiding.
Either works. No one's going to look in at the body and then crane their neck to check the corners of the room, are they?
I don't know. What's this little locked room?
How do you not know? You killed her!
I think the fact that I don't know proves I didn't kill her. Thank you very much.
That's a compelling argument.
You're lying.
No, she's not. I've been saying all along, there's still more to this case.
But if Genocide Jill didn't do it, that means Ogre didn't die from the shot to the head.
And
Well, I can't imagine what else could have killed her.
that's because you're overlooking vital information.
I got so much information that there's poison. I got vomiting blood, I got powder everywhere. I got poisons in the wrong shelf. I got protein on the floor. If anything, I've got too much evidence. I'm going yellow powder before I've even seen the chat.
What was it that killed Ogre?
So I'm going to shoot it on the first pass.
Genocide Jill's attack? And what was it?
There's no other possible cause. What killed Sakura? I can't think of anything other than the shot. So you're dead set on blaming me?
I meant to slow down time. I sped it up. That backfired. Obviously, she was killed by the yellow powder.
If it wasn't from Genocide Jill's attack...
Okay, it's not. There is evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head. No other injuries were noticed. So the Monokuma file does talk about vomiting of blood. Status of the body talks about the vomiting of blood. That does not. Okay, so Monokuma file. The no possible...
There's no other possible
Yeah,
cause.
here we go.
What killed Sakura? I can't think of anything.
I did it again!
No, it's wrong.
My brain's getting confused. I so rarely use the speed up and slow down keys.
According to the Monokuma file, Sakura had vomited blood.
The controls are all over the place, by the way. It's Control, Spacebar, and Tab are the buttons I have to use. Why it couldn't be sort of QWE or 1, 2, 3 or something, I don't know.
I think we can assume there's a chance this was related to her cause of death. In fact, there was even a trace of blood left around her mouth.
Well, I mean, maybe when she got hit with the bottles, she cut the inside of her mouth.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe she started eating the glass for fun.
That's all it was. The file wouldn't have specified vomited blood. Not to mention, I didn't find any cuts inside her mouth.
You even checked in there? God, you really are into dead bodies!
That is quite impressive, to be honest, that you'd think to check that.
No, I'm not into dead bodies. What I'm into is solving mysteries.
About dead bodies.
But if there wasn't a cut or anything, then what made her vomit blood?
Some sort of reaction within her body. Most likely, Sakura was poisoned.
We only just come to this realization, people.
Poison?
You saw that bottle of poison, right?
That's right. This is the conclusion I've arrived at, and so there can be no mistake.
You're making me go all weak in the knees! She was poisoned?
Is it really so hard to believe? Then let me explain exactly how the culprit was able to poison her.
The interesting thing here is this puts Toko back in the frame, because whilst Jill wouldn't know that Toko poisoned her, it's still possible that Toko poisoned and then went for some locker shenanigans to throw us off the scent.
Of course, if you don't mind.
Everyone quiet! Shut up and listen to Master!
No.
But you're the only one talking.
The key to unlocking this mystery was hiding in the chem lab up on the 4th floor.
Not in the rec room? Then I could have found it all along.
You never would have, since you gave up on the search the moment you were barred from the crime scene.
That's true. You did do that.
Well, yeah, good point.
There's a big shelving unit in the chem lab that houses a variety of mixtures and chemicals. And that's where I found this.
C9. The most lethal poison of all.
Is that the poison?
It's not an especially powerful poison, but it'll still kill you if you drink an entire bottle.
I mean, not Chem 9. That's the most moderate poison of them all.
But the specific properties don't matter. What does matter is where I found it.
In the Chem lab.
Where'd you find it?
The shelf is divided up into 3 sections, A, B, and C. In Section A, dietary supplements. In B, reagents. And in C, a variety of lethal chemicals.
And that's where the poison came from? Section C?
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
I mean, it's got the letter C emblazoned on the front of it. But yes, it was in Section A.
I got it! The poison was actually in Section A, wasn't it?
Huh? You just said that Section A was for supplements or whatever.
Yes, poison supplements.
Strange, isn't it? Why would there be a bottle of poison mixed in with all those nutritional additives?
Yeah, so? Why?
Because the culprit switched it out. That's why.
What do you mean?
I mean, this.
What the hell are you doing?
Master?
If he dies on the spot right now, that's +1 to our efforts for getting out of here.
Ugh, that tastes awful.
Oh no! Master's in real trouble! You have to drink some water! You can't just swallow powder! It'll stick to your throat!
Idiot! He just swallowed poison! We need to make him spit it out!
Guys, he said they switched it out before he drank it. Remember? Brains,
Flavor
use them.
certainly makes me want to spit it out. What's so high quality about this stuff?
Okay, so I assumed somebody took the poison over to Section A, poured it in with the protein shakes, and then was just lazy and left it in A. But you're saying somebody swapped the contents, so one of the jars that said it was protein was actually poison. And then they put the protein in the poison bottle. Why? Why wouldn't you just pour it away? What? Alright, let's dig on a bit more.
I'm talking about the protein, of course.
Protein?
Can I see that bottle for a second?
No.
Sure. Do whatever you like.
It's protein powder.
This is incredibly poisonous, and now I'm dead too.
Correct. That wasn't poison in the bottle, but harmless protein powder.
And you drank that. That's nasty stuff.
Which makes one wonder, the poison that should have been in that bottle, where did it go?
Not another gambit. Okay, I got it. They're getting easier. As they get longer, they get easier. Damn it, my precious N, it's gone.
Now I understand. The poison must have been poured into the protein can.
I reached this conclusion over an hour ago.
Protein's in the poison bottle. It seems only logical to assume the reverse is true, right?
It's completely illogical. You would need some kind of third device. You can't just pour one into the other and suddenly they're swapped.
Absolutely. The contents of each container were switched. So the protein was in the bottle of poison, and the poison was in the protein can. Once you accept that, it becomes obvious how the culprit was able to get Sakura to drink the poison.
Holy crap!
All they had to do was hand her something there at the scene, and she was happy to drink the poison herself.
Wouldn't she notice that it didn't taste like a protein shake? And instead it tasted very different.
I got it! You're saying they gave her a protein drink, right?
See, I assumed we had a very lethal poison and we put a bit of it in the protein. I wasn't assuming we gave her an entire bottle of poison and said, here you go, tuck in. I think she would notice.
A drink which actually contained a deadly poison.
What?
That's all it took to kill Sakura. That is the true cause of death.
I agree.
You know, I do remember Ogre saying the protein stuff was good for all kinds of aches and pains.
I don't know if it's good for head wounds.
So maybe she took it to try and help with the whole bleeding head wound thing.
But what was offered to her instead was a bottle full of poison. And I already know exactly who swapped the mixtures.
For real? Who was it?
Evidence revealing who replaced the two materials was left in the chem lab for anyone to see.
Okay, I don't actually know who did this. So he's ahead of me, which I don't like. Makes me feel inferior. The only evidence we haven't used yet is the footprints. But I don't know whose feet that belongs to, so I guess I'm going to offer up the footprints as evidence. Maybe we're gonna check whose feet match. I mean, there is powder on Sakura's shoes, which is kind of odd, but I guess that implies that Sakura dropped this C4 bottle at some point, and they didn't clean it up, because she's a messy, messy person.
I got it! The footprints left behind in front of the shelf.
Now that's kind of odd, because that implies that someone came after Sakura. If Sakura gets there, drops C4 on the floor, and it goes over Sakura's feet, Sakura leaves, someone else comes and treads in the C4. Oh, he said to replace materials. But why? Why would you replace anything? Does anything need replacing?
That's the evidence you're talking about, isn't it?
I visited the chem lab this morning, and there were definitely no footprints there at that point.
Seriously, who is... Oh. Was the powder on the floor at that point?
They must have appeared around the time of the murder.
Well, I guess they must have been, because there's powder on top of Sakura's shoes. Okay, so somebody walked through the powder after the murder. Okay. So this isn't about the person who swapped the poisons. That was done before the powder was even spilled on the floor. Got it, got it. This is someone covering something up.
What's more, the footprints were in front of Section A, where I found the bottle meant for the poison. The culprit must have gone to Section A to swap the poison and protein, leaving their footprints behind.
That doesn't make any sense. Sakura's already dead. Why would you do that?
And given how clear the prints were, figuring out who they belong to will pose no problem. All we have to do is check everyone's footprints right now. Then we'll see who...
It was me.
Whose voice is that? I don't recognize it.
The footprints.
Ah!
They're mine.
We got you, Hina. You are way too pushy.
Hina?
If you're all gonna find out anyway, I'd rather you hear it straight from me, you know?
Ogre's killer was...
Yep. I did it. I killed Sakura.
No! I killed Sakura! It's like everyone worked together to try and kill this woman.
Just as I suspected.
It's like Murder on the Orient Express all over again. Sorry, that was a big spoiler if you've not seen or read that.
The footprints were made by a pair of sneakers. There was no mistaking it. And the only people here who wear sneakers are...
I think I do. Yes, Leon, he wore sneakers.
I got it!
He probably did, in
Hina are the
fairness.
only ones. Oh, so Hyaku. That explains why you...
If the footprints didn't belong to Makoto, that left only one other possibility.
You know, Byakuya, I hate you, but at the same time, you're very useful.
Just Hina.
Plus, Hina's been acting strange ever since the trial began.
Indeed she has.
You were in an awful rush to get to the vote, weren't you?
She was, I noticed that.
This whole time, you've been focused on pinning the crime on someone else, haven't you?
I got that impression as well,
I
for what it's worth.
can't believe it.
I'm not just following this guy, I did come to these conclusions myself, I swear.
What about it can't you believe?
I'm not dumb, believe me.
Well, it's just... the two of them were so close.
I mean, I was pretty close to Sayaka, and she still tried to frame me for murder.
That's likely exactly why it turned out this way. Because they were so close, Sakura didn't think twice about it when Hina handed her the concoction. Hina used that trust to kill her. She deceived the victim, and she tried to deceive all of us. I have to say, Hina, coming from you, this was a particularly nasty little scheme.
I'll be honest, I didn't think Hina had it in her.
Is it true? Did you really kill Sakura? And if you did, why? Why would you do that?
For the money, obviously.
I found her. There in the rec room. She was hurt. She asked me to bring her that protein drink. But when I went to get the powder from the chem lab, it just occurred to me all of a sudden.
Hang on. So she sat there with multiple head wounds, bleeding out. I mean, she's not gonna die, but severe head wounds. And she goes, "Quick, do one thing for me. I need protein." Hina doesn't go for first aid or anything like that.
Now's my chance to kill her. That's what you thought, right? That's when you switched out the protein powder, and that's when you gave her the poisoned mixture.
I mean, this makes sense. If Sakura dropped the C4 powder over her own feet in the morning, though I don't know what Sakura was doing,
And then
playing around with C4. Maybe it was left on the side or something.
once. And then
Hold it!
Wrong game, Kyoko. You can't say hold it. Not in this one. That's copyrighted material. I mean, objection!
I'm not convinced.
You're not about to claim she wouldn't kill a close friend, are you?
Of course not, I'm not a fool.
You don't get it, do you? The game we're playing here isn't so kind. Honeyed words like friendship don't matter here. What matters is outwitting the opponent, defeating them. Not a person alive would sacrifice themselves for another. In the end, we're all in it for ourselves. Just like how this girl sacrificed Sakura to save herself.
You say that, but I'm still not convinced.
How many times do you plan to repeat yourself?
Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying it because of some misguided sentimentalism. But there's still that one unsolved mystery, and I'm not convinced.
Are you talking about the locked room problem?
So whilst I also don't have a solution to the locked room problem, I have a question as to why there is yellow powder on Sakura's feet. Because whilst it gives me a good timeline of events where Sakura spills the C4 on the floor, and then later Hina walks through the C4 that's on the floor, that would imply that Sakura went into the poisons cupboard. And she has no reason to do that, unless Sakura was trying to kill someone. But she may have been. She said she was going to settle it with Monokuma, but I don't think you can poison him, he's a robot.
Hina, if you really are the killer, explain it. How did you create that locked room?
Well, that doesn't matter. Just because I'm guilty, that means I have to tell you everything?
Yes.
No, it doesn't. But the fact that you won't tell us concerns me.
Surely you're not... Do you honestly think Hina didn't actually kill her?
And if I do?
Impossible. She switched out the mixtures. She's the culprit. There's no way you can doubt this.
Are you sure about that?
I am struggling to doubt it, so I'm with Byakuya here on this one.
Even ignoring the fact that I don't want to believe it, it just doesn't fit.
She literally handed her a bottle of poison. Even if somebody else locked the room after that fact. I mean, Sakura had 3... I can't call them injuries, ailments. She had 2 head wounds and vomiting blood from poison. And if the head wounds didn't kill her, then the poison did.
What doesn't fit?
I mean, why would someone leave such a clear clue like a footprint? It's too obvious. Too easy.
I assume because she was in a hurry, because she just found her friend bleeding out.
He's right. It makes it look like you wanted people to suspect you.
No, it doesn't. It makes it look like you were in a hurry, and you're an idiot.
I was just nervous. So, I didn't notice I'd left a footprint.
I mean, you're obviously lying now, but...
You didn't notice?
Yeah, that's just how it was. What can I do?
Listen, Hina. Could you go into a bit more detail? Tell us more about when you switched the poison and the protein.
How come? That doesn't matter.
Why is everyone so defensive about admitting their murder attempts?
Hina, please.
Come on, we're all
I'd
friends
like
here.
to know too.
Fine.
Waste your time if you like. It's clear that Hina is the culprit. There's nobody else to suspect. Nobody else could have possibly done it.
I kind of agree. I can come up with some really far-fetched ideas as how someone else is to blame, but nothing
Go ahead, Hina.
that would
Start
make
from the
sense.
moment you arrived at the chem lab.
Well, right away I went to Section C and got the poison.
Alright, you're lying. There's no footprints towards Section C.
And is that when you spilled the powder in front of that part of the shelf?
Yeah. When I opened the bottle, I dropped it like an idiot.
That's a lie. There's poison on Sakura's feet.
I
Her shoes.
see. Okay then, go on.
So then I moved to Section A and got the protein powder, and that's where I switched them.
That's a lie. there would be footprints of you leaving Section C. Not approaching it, if what you said was true, but there would still be... You know, where your feet were when the powder originally fell would leave footprints. Even though you didn't step into it, there would still be something
Once I was
there.
done with that, I took the protein can that had the poison in it and left the room. But I accidentally put the bottle filled with protein powder back on the wrong shelf. And because of that, everything I did got found out. And...
That's a lie. No one's that dumb.
That story you just told.
It's full of holes.
First you went to Section C to get the poison. Then moved to Section A to get the protein, right? Meaning you went from Section C to Section A. Do I have that correct?
yeah.
Okay, game, I get it.
Can you repeat that series of events one more time?
This time while I point a gun at you.
You're being awfully pushy.
I don't appreciate this nickname.
It's the same thing no matter how many times you hear it. How long until you're satisfied?
Well, as long as it takes. But why are you in a hurry all of a sudden? Why is everyone always in a hurry to pin the blame on people? You realise if we get it wrong, we're dead. We should take a week discussing this case. Alright, what have we got? What's source of the powder? I mean, the answer's obviously footprints.
First I went to Section C.
Oh, you didn't.
That's when I grabbed the poison.
Wait. That's
And you
wrong.
spilled some
Damn
of
it!
the powder on the ground in front of the shelf.
Kyoko, get out of my way!
Yeah. When I grabbed the bottle, I dropped it.
Okay, and then?
I moved from Section C
No, you didn't!
No, it's wrong.
Thanks, Kyoko. Good save.
You said you went to get the poison from Section C. And that's where you spilled the powder, right?
Yeah? What about it?
And after that, you said you moved from Section C to Section A to get the protein. But the footprints left at the scene were not moving from Section C to Section A.
I'm looking at those footprints. Somebody goes approaching A. They go right foot, left foot, right foot. No, wait. They go right foot, left foot, left foot, right foot. Shimmy to the side. 180. Left foot and jump the rest of the way. It's very strange footprints.
That contradicts what you just said.
Then maybe she moved in some weird direction on purpose to disguise her movements?
No, that can't be it. Remember what Hina just said?
What the? Hina, what's the meaning of this?
Oh, even Byakuya wasn't ready for this twist.
You lied to us. Plain and simple.
You see, Byakuya's reactions look genuine. When you show me stuff like that, it makes me trust Byakuya is innocent.
If you look at the footprints, your movements in the chem lab are obvious.
Because that's too good of a bluff.
The powder had already been spilled when you came in, and you went straight to Section A. So you never went to Section C. Whatever you did there, it only involved Section A.
Well, you see...
I'm gonna let it rotate the whole way around. Never mind. I thought it was gonna stop when she was upside down.
What the hell? What's going on here?
Good question. What the hell is going on here? We'll find out in the next episode. Hopefully you'll join me for that, and I shall see you then.